Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I am Ashfaq and in today's video we will deploy the Azure Kubernetes Services AKS Cluster and we will deploy one application on the AKS Cluster. This application will be having one front end and back end would be on Redis. Let's get started. First of all, I will clone this repository. I will go to git bash and I will clone it. I will go to this repository. This repository contains the application source code, a pre-created Docker Compose file, and a Kubernetes manifest file, which is the YAML file. I have already installed the Docker in my Windows system. You can refer to this video on how to install the Docker on the Windows system. The link of this video I will provide you in the description. I will again go back to git bash and I will give the command docker compose up -d. Okay, if I give here the command docker images, so there are two images in my system which has been created just now. The image Azure Vote Front. This image contains the front end application, and this is the Redis image which will be used as the backend for this application. I have already installed the Azure CLI in my system. You can go to this URL, download the MSI file from here and install the Azure CLI in your system. If I go to git bash terminal and type here the AZ version, so this is the Azure CLI version which is present in my system. I have already logged into Azure portal in the browser. On the terminal I will give the command az login, which will open the browser. I'm already logged in, so I will select my user ID. So it says we are successfully logged in. If I go to bash terminal, so we are successfully logged into the Azure portal through the Azure CLI. Now I have to create the uh, resource group in my subscription. So I will give the command to create the resource group. This would be the name of my resource group, mylab-rg, and this would be the region for the resource group. Sorry, I will remove the extra dollar. Okay, resource group has been created. Now I have to create the Azure container registry so that I can push my local image to the ACR. I will give the command ACR create, and this is my resource group name, and this would be my ACR name. And keep in mind, this name should be unique. Okay, ACR created. I will now log into the ACR. For that, I will give this command ACR login hyphen name, and this is the my ACR name. Okay, so login succeeded. Now actually I have to tag my image, and after that I have to push my local image to the ACR. To tag the image, first of all I need the server name for my ACR. For that I will give this command so this is the server name for my ACR. This is my ACR name, and server name is Azure cr.io. So I will go ahead and tag my local image with the ACR name and server name. I will give this command. In this command, this is my local image name, and it will apply this tag. This is my uh, ACR name, and this is the server for the ACR, and this is the image name, and the tag is v1. I will hit enter. Okay, so my image has been tagged. I will give the command docker images. So you can see Azure Front image has been tagged with the server name of the ACR. Now I have to push my local image to the ACR. For that I will give this command. In this command, this is the link for my ACR server name and the my ACR name, and this is the image name. Okay, push completed. If I go to Azure portal, resource group, so this is our resource group. Inside it we have a container registry, and inside the container registry if I go to repositories, so this is our image which we have pushed from our local system, and this is the tag to the image. Note one thing here, out of these two images we have pushed only one image, which is the front-end application image. We have not pushed the second image, which is the standard image of the Microsoft Container Registry, the Redis image. We can directly deploy it from there from the MCR. No need to push it to the ACR. Okay, the next step is to create the AKS cluster. I will go to Azure portal and I will go to Kubernetes services, create a Kubernetes cluster. I will give the name to my cluster, my lab AKS cluster, and the resource group I will select previously created resource group my lab-rg. Region East US, pricing tier standard. Scale method I will keep manual. Node count I will select 2. Next. 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 Here I will not change anything. I will click on next. Container registry I will select my container registry. Enable container log I will untick here. Next. 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 Create. Okay, cluster created. I will go ahead and install the AKS CLI in my local system. Okay, now I will go ahead and log into my AKS cluster using this command. This is my resource group name and this is my AKS cluster name. Okay, if I give the command kubectl get nodes, so these are the nodes running in my AKS cluster. Along with this directory, we have downloaded the manifest file also. I will open that manifest file. So in this manifest file, first one is the deployment for the Redis, which is the backend, and then this service for the Redis container. In this deployment, I will remove this beta, and you can see here it is using the MCR image, Redis MCR image. And then we have the second deployment, which is our front end deployment, and then below we have its service, which will be running on port 80. So in this deployment, I will again remove this beta, and in the place of image we will have to give the our image path, because it has to come from the ACR. This is our image path, and below this deployment it is the service for the front end, which will run on the port 80. I will save this file. I will now go ahead and deploy this YAML file. So this is the command kubectl apply -f, and this is the manifest file, which is the YAML file. Okay, deployment completed. If I give the command kubectl get ports, so you can see here one is running and second is creating. Now both are showing as running. One is for the front end, which is having the front end application, and second one is the back end, which is having the Redis. So both the pods are running. Now I want the external IP address for the service. To get the IP address of the service, I will give this command. So this is the service name for the front end. So this is the external IP for the front end application running inside the container. I will go to browser, and I will browse this IP. So you can see here my application is running successfully. This is the voting app. By this way, you can deploy the Azure Kubernetes services cluster and you can run the application on the AKS cluster successfully. Hope you find this video helpful. Lot of effort went behind this video, so do subscribe to my channel to encourage my work. Like the video, share it with the friends and spread the knowledge. I look forward you to join me in the next video. Thank you.